Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. That's the Facebook handle. Now, Mr. Fyneface Dumnamene, the purpose for which the NDDC was set up, one of them was for the development of the region, which is, in fact, I think the fundamental part of it was for the development of the region as a commission. When you look at the Niger Delta region, looking at all the Niger Delta states, I wouldn't want to limit it to just River State. You could Rivers, Hausa, Delta, Cross River, name them. Would you say that the NDDC in the past 25 years have lived up to its purpose?
Thank you, Ifemi. To an extent, I believe that the role of the NDDC wasn't really to focus on the holistic development of all the states under it, that is the 9 states, but established as an interventionist agency. Basically, they are supposed to look at those areas that infrastructure development are lacking, and then they intervene to provide those things that the state governments are not providing. They are not basically supposed to focus generally on development. So if you look at so far, so good, the 25 years have not been very robust. It has not also been something that we can say it is Uhuru. We should celebrate that they have done exceedingly well. We also should also consider some of the challenges they have faced as an institution, as a commission, like the political instability in the commission, whereby you have appointment of caretaker, appointment of administrators, and then some other times you have administrative issues whereby the managing director is at loggerheads with the chairman of the board, and all of those things have also affected their operations. But then so far, there is hardly any states of the Niger Delta where you do not see their footprints. But then I think that so far, so much have not been achieved compared to the resources that they have received. And that is why we continue to ask for accountability, we continue to ask for transparency, and we continue to ask for more development from the NDDC. And we have all seen what contribute to some of these things. I believe that some of the issues have been looked at during the time of the forensic audits of the NDDC, which they have refused to publicly report it today. We would have known the areas that issues lies, areas to advocate, to call for more actions, and areas to say that you've done well in this area, continue to sustain this developmental part. But in this case, we have not seen that from the NDDC. We have not seen that report released. So I believe that so far, so good. If we are to rate them in terms of percentage, we can say, okay, to an extent, we can give the NDDC like 48%. That's what I would give them in terms
48%?
Yeah, so
but
far.
Some would say that's really high.
No, it's not relatively low and not also too high. You can see I didn't make it 50. I know 48 is already close to a C. Because the resources compared to what they have done, if you look at the Niger Delta, one of the bane of the NDDC and their interventionist activities and projects is that we have lots of uncompleted projects. I think as at the time before they went into a forensic audit, we were told they have over 12,000 uncompleted projects. And then if you look at projects executed by the NDDC, are always very well substandard. Very, very substandard. And people attribute the substandard nature of NDDC project to the fact that they said there is institutional corruption to an extent, whereby if a project is awarded to a contractor at 240 million naira, before the project is taken out, that people pays a percentage up to 20, 30, 40% before the project is given. And when you get the project, the contractor goes to bank to loan money to run the contract. And when the contract is completed, collecting that money becomes an issue. The contractor will have to be going to the NDDC for over 3, 4, 5 months. As a result of that, the entire profit the contractor was supposed to make are all gone. Money raised from bank to carry out the project are all spent, and you do not have enough money anymore. So when next they have the next contract, they have to execute the contract in such a way that they spend less, so that they have money to settle kickbacks, they have money to pay bank loans, they have money that will be remaining after they have suffered to collect the money. Getting job in NDDC is not too tedious, but getting your money after you complete the job is the issue where people continue to shout.
You mentioned projects, and I just had to go to the NDDC Facebook page and look at some of the projects and what they are working on. I know that this morning we're hearing on the jingles on radio that the new NDDC office in Bayelsa State was to be commissioned by the current NDDC MD CEO, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku. And if you look at their Facebook page, they're in celebration of this 25th anniversary, they're in Cross River State, commissioned the ultra-modern NDDC Cross River State office and a road network totaling 8,137 kilometers in Calabar. Flood victims in Imo State. Okay, this was sometime in 2012, so we can't look at that. Okay. This one, they said commissioning of what? NDDC Cross River State Complex, and so on and so forth. Several projects. You could find details of this on the Facebook page. You could go on and on with what they have here. But then what they are doing tomorrow is the one in Bayelsa State, the new office that's built in Bayelsa State, which brings me to question the projects. You've highlighted a part of it, but several individuals have looked at the projects of the NDDC and say, well, the money's available. Can they do more? Should they be doing more? I mean, ideally, also, when we talk about the offices, many expect that we have NDDC befitting offices across the 9 states, which had not been the case. I know in Bayelsa State used to be an old place they occupy. I can't remember exactly. When I saw that, I heard it on the radio this morning, I'm like, oh, a new office. Okay, what does it look like? And it kind of seemed fairly good. It looks good. But beyond these types of projects, the roads we see, street lights, and would you say that they are doing enough, or they need to improve on the I don't want to say the quality, I'm looking at the kind of project that they embark on?
Yeah, I think they need to improve, because there is no agency, commission, or government that will say that what I have done is perfect, what I have done is okay, we don't need to improve, we need to sustain. There are areas that could be sustained from what you are doing, but area of improvement is always there. Looking at the projects and what they are doing, I think they have done a lot of infrastructural projects. They are also into human capital development. I recall that recently they talked about foreign scholarships, for masters and PhD students. They also do that. We also expect them to extend the same gesture to some secondary schools across the local government areas across the 9 states, so that they can also feel their impact. And they should do more to go into human capital development. I've also heard their jingle about Miss Niger Delta
beauty pageant, that would be in River State,
and all of that. Those things are ongoing. They need to do more to develop human capital. I engaged an NDDC staff who is at the managerial level some years ago and asked you that the kind of money you receive in the NDDC, we have not seen that kind of development translate on the ground. He told me that if they should translate the money they are receiving to development on the ground, the federal government will not send any money anymore. So they try to skew the development, excessively spend the money, pretending or to an extent that the money is not enough, or limiting development so that the money will continue to come in. So these are some of the things that happen. So, but to an extent, the NDDC is trying. Now we have the South Development Commission with headquarters in Akwa Ibom State. We also expect them to also contribute their own quota. Before the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs left, we also had some developmental stride from them, like they contributed to the East-West Road and development and all of that. So, but the NDDC is an interventionist agency, and I would have expected them to keep part of their budget open, whereby they even flow radio programs. If there is any project in your community that you think needs immediate intervention to fix, please come forward and put it out. And when people will call in to put out those projects that require, critical intervention and effort, then we look at it, send people to go and verify, and then they carry out that project.
In other words, that window should be open. In other words, you're saying like the NDDC isn't interacting or giving the people enough opportunity to discuss with them and find out, because when we mentioned the abandoned projects, it was something that I also thought if they had what you said, a program where people can, perhaps we would even have better information about what is happening at the sites where you have these your projects that you don't have time to go look at.
Exactly. In the Niger Delta, they're always done this armchair budget formulation, whereby they sit in their office, they formulate budget, and then they present. And
they will disagree anyways.
No, they don't need to disagree.
They will disagree.
Even
with
the former governor of Rivers State, the FCT minister, have told them that there are conflicting things in Rivers State for him. That project that he has awarded, they will still re-award the project and things like that. They had a lot of issues because of that. That is to say, they do not crystallize their own projects and programs with that of the various state government. They need to sit down on a table every fiscal year to say, this is what we plan to do. Have you planned to do anything here? So we leave that area. Okay, we have planned to do here. You leave that area, so that the resources will be properly used. But a situation whereby you award a road contract that the state government had already awarded, contractors mobilized to the site, getting there, the state government have done it. The money goes into the pocket of contractor and those who form it. So all of this thing needs to be looked into, so that we do not duplicate projects, we do not do things that needed to be done. So there should be that consultation. We are in a democracy, for God's sake. There should be that consultation and participatory budget formulation process and implementation, whereby the people will be part of the process. They will understand what government, where NDDC wants to do, and they know where to come in. That is what needs to be done. But this system whereby they just stay in their offices and formulate this thing without reaching out to the people becomes an issue. I would have advised them that every year before they go into their budget formulation, they should reach out to the various representatives and then go to some communities, submit your project you think NDDC should look into. Then they review those projects and then attach funds to them, and then they go and carry out those projects. That is what needs to be done, because now you have a lot of white elephant projects across the Niger Delta. Things that the people don't really need are being put in place because they do not consult the people before they put in place.
When you look at how it's marking its 25th anniversary, would you say that the activities that are lined up and what they're doing, I mean, some people, if you get on social media, in fact, if we look at some of the comments here on, let's even just open a few of them, because I was going through this in preparation for the conversation, and there's some individuals that are not really very happy with how it's marking it, because they feel that when for 25 years, there should be something that should be mega or big that would, culminate at the end of the day, and we'll look at this and be like, oh, this is massive, but you don't have something of that nature. Yes, the new offices you're trying to put up in some of those states that have not had a befitting office, it's great. It's a good idea, but then they should have been more. Do you share the same?
Yes, I share the same views with the people, because we are talking about NDDC here. The NDDC is richer than some 3 African countries put together. And those countries are thriving, providing amenities and services to their people. So the NDDC today is supposed to put on some short-time, medium-time, and long-time projects that they will fund over time. For example, there is no reason why the NDDC cannot go into massive, fishing in the Niger Delta, acquiring some fishing trawlers, establish industries that youths can be employed, and we go into fishing to tap our aquatic resources. There is no reason why the NDDC too cannot go into the establishment of a powerful, park where people can go and acquire skills that will enable them to develop themselves as young people. There is also no reason why the NDDC cannot set up, even if it's a refinery in the Niger Delta. They have the capacity.
A modular refinery or a standard?
They can set up a modular. A modular is between 1,000 to 30,000. And then anything from 30,000 barrels per day becomes a standard refinery. Yeah. NDDC can do both conventional refinery and the modular refinery. They can set it up. It's possible. They have the resources. The NDDC can also go beyond celebrating these monuments, offices, and other infrastructures that a lot of them do not stand the test of time except the building, by being able to invest into the people of the Niger Delta. I listen to them on radio, and of course I know that the population of the Niger Delta is over 30 million. It's approximately 40 million people. A lot of them, about 23% of this figure, if I'm not mistaken, are youth, are young people. And a lot of them are not also gainfully employed. Now, we are also talking about the issue of oil theft and artisanal refineries in the Niger Delta. I've also tried to reach out to the NDDC to see how we can partner to provide alternative livelihood opportunities for youth who are involved in illegal refineries. They can contribute on that line as well to engage the youth away from what they are doing. Some of these things they are not doing, and they are focusing more on infrastructure and all of that. While that is not wrong, I believe that they can still go into human capital development, and they are able to touch the lives of the people.
Makes a lot of sense. But there's the accusation of the NDDC now becoming a place where politicians launder funds for election purposes. That's been a recurrent one. Every election cycle, every year, you would hear one politician say, the NDDC is a cash cow for politicians. Famously said by the former governor of Rivers State. How does this ideology change now? I mean, we can't, like you rightly said, you're scoring them about 48%, which is not really bad, but with the funds available, people expect a lot more. So this narrative of the NDDC being used as a means to, siphon money by politicians. How do we change it? After the break, when we come back, you would respond to that. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. I still have Fyneface Dumnamene in the studio with me. When we return, he will respond to that question. Meanwhile, you can join us on Facebook at Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. We are live. You can stream and drop your comments. Are you satisfied at 25 years? The activities of the NDDC thus far. What do you think? The WhatsApp number is 0809 030 6416. Again, 0809 030 6416. Good morning. Good morning. The conversation continues. My name is Ifeemi Andrew, Mr. Fine. Doctor. He told me, yes. Dr. Fyneface Dumnamene. So I'm way behind if I didn't catch up on that one.
Oh, you
that means it's been a very long time.
Yeah, since 2024,
Then I should have
and
now.
the convocation was on the 31st of last month.
Okay. I see why. Congratulations on that one, Doc.
Much, yeah.
Congratulations. All right, so back to the conversation. The NDDC is looking at its 25 years since creation. How far has the commission gone? What have they done? Well, activities have been lined up. Just a while ago, we heard jingles and they had activities on their page. We're looking at what they're doing in Cross River State with the commissioning of the state office complex. Tomorrow, they also have one build for Bayelsa State, still to commission the office complex. Beyond, there's a beauty pageant that they're supposed to have in Rivers State. We heard about that this morning, and with good cash price that they're giving out. But what's fundamental while they are saying all these things, people are saying, have the money coming into the commission translated to what we could see on ground? And before the break, I was asking my guest, the stigma of the NDDC being a cash cow for politicians, how do we address that?
Well, to an extent, I will begin by saying that those who say the NDDC is a cash cow for politicians may have his or her reasons and evidence. I have heard that. I've heard that, and I have not really been able to lay my hands on any evidence towards that direction. But to an extent, you cannot rule out the fact that almost every agency commissions their leadership one way or the other, support one political activity or the other, because a lot of those people are there due to political patronages. And when they are there and it is election time, they can get some instruction to do certain things that are outside the mandates of their commissions. And if they fail to do it, then they are out. And that is the way they do it. So sometimes they are compelled to take those decisions because they don't want to lose their job. And it happens. Don't also maybe try to rule out the fact that maybe there were certain instructions that those who supported suspended Governor Simfobra to get in office asked him to do something and he refused to do. That is why today he's suspended. So all of those things happen when it comes to political institutions and where money is flowing through. Some of the people who were alleging that funds were being frittered away from the NDDC for political patronage may also be in a position, and they are doing the same thing today. Because I've also heard rumors of how they are involved in some of those processes. But since we do not have evidences against them, we cannot mention them because we cannot mention how much they took or how they took it. Was it cash, transfer, or what? We cannot lay hands on that. So those rumors are there. So some of the ways to fight this is for the citizens to demand accountability from the NDDC. As a commission, I believe we are supposed to be having even annual audit reports of the NDDC published on their website.
There was the last one that I think it was one that they had.
Maybe that's the forensic audit.
Yes.
We don't have the forensic audit report. They have not published that to us. We need to be able to have that. And then I don't know whether the law provides that every 12 calendar months they audit their report and they publish the audit report of the NDDC because it is the people's money to know what is happening. Copies of the NDDC budget is also supposed to be made available to citizens who want to view into it, to see projects that have been inserted for them and be able to follow up and monitor some of those projects to ensure that they are carried out where they are. So if we can do some of these things, it may restrict those who are managing the NDDC from using money the way they like and not the way they have appropriated for it, because I do not think that any budget of the NDDC any year has provided money to use and fund political activities. It's not there. So it is the money they have appropriated for projects that are being used for those purposes. And that is to say the project for which they are supposed to use the money for will suffer at the end of the day at the expense of the people.
0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0007. You can also call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0002. These are the numbers to call to get through to us. Several comments on Facebook. Onyi Mac P says NDDC was not established to work in favor of the Niger Delta states, but rather to enrich certain individuals. Clever Sonny says it will be sad to let you know that for over 2 years today, Chief Tony Okosha has deliberately refused to approve solar street lights. I don't know about that, Clever Sonny, that you say he has refused to approve, and I don't know whether you went to him and you saw, but then I'm pretty sure at some point he would also be giving scorecard as to what he is, what's been happening with regards to activities of the NDDC in Rivers State. Clever, Wealu says it's true the NDDC have the capacity, but our politicians will not allow the commission to do the right thing. Their aim is just to impoverish the region. Thank God Ability says those managing NDDC are there for their stomach. There are many communities that have not seen NDDC projects since the inception of the agency. They are not making any difference. Let's go to the phone lines quickly. Ken from Ubimini, please, let's try to keep it short so we can accommodate as many calls as possible. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Fyeme Andrew, and greetings to your guests.
Good morning.
Fyeme, 25 years of NDDC commission, right?
Mm.
Fyeme, you see, when we are talking about this NDDC commission, I see it as a ground or an avenue of empowering individuals. If we are talking about visible things, visible projects, I believe considering the years of this commission, nothing very, very concrete and visible that has happened to this state, especially the rural areas, Mr. Fyeme Andrew. I always emphasize on rural areas because nothing is going on in those areas. Come to Ubumini community, there is no project of such, of any kind, coming from NDDC that is cited or erected in my community. Does it mean that we are not under Haleta government? Or does it mean that we are not under River State? Does it mean that we are not part of Niger Delta for goodness sake?
All right, Ken, thank you. Quickly, Ebeka and Elele, good morning.
Yes, my brother, good morning.
Mm.
You know, we are good in speaking grammar, Nigerians. I'm watching or listening to your guest. He is speaking grammar there. NDDC is not functioning in anywhere. Where NDDC died is when Tony Opia, the farmer, when he was on Padek. Those days, those people have vision for ordinary Niger Delta citizens. But now, where NDDC died is 1999. They use NDDC now as a political settlement. If the president is there, he will not give it to his crony in Niger Delta. And if this crony now will be giving it to all the contract to his friends. And see, look at the NDDC road, Niger Delta road, like this West road, over 20 years, not completed. So NDDC, under my watch, under my observation, is no way to organize home about.
All right, Emeka.
They should scrap it.
Okay, Emeka, thank you. JJ from Rumigbo, good morning.
Andrew, good morning.
Mm.
You see, our people say something. There is only those that walk at the middle of the night that know the order of the spirit. Let me greet your guests in the studio.
Good morning, JJ.
Several politicians have come to say NDDC is mainly for funding of elections, including our former governor, the FCT minister. Why are you doubting it again? Now then they work out for night that they know the order of the spirit. But I must express my own feelings about NDDC. What they are known for is abandoned projects, substandard projects that cannot stand the test of time, and so many more. Were you not here when under which administration, where you have Cairo Ojigwe, where there was lockdown in the entire world and they claimed they traveled to UK to see students. Meanwhile, the students are in. And by the way, the forensic audit that was done by Buhari, where I'm today, you see, we joke too much.
All right, thank you, JJ.
Compare the money that has come to the NDDC and what they have done, you go cry for this region. Thank you.
God's power and Rumudara, please, let's hear you quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother Andrew. My name is Ayuba Gospel. Andrew, if they say that NDDC was like a cash cow in the past, but as of today, Andrew, I would talk about this was the state of its kind. I know what? Go around River State today, you will see that any project that Chieftain Okocha initiated is what the community wants. I'll give you one example. In Degema, what they have in Degema is about 1,200 capacity pavilion. Right now, that pavilion is giving the community money because go to community, you see town hall that he's building based on need assessment. Andrew, Today, you will see that almost all the
God's
streets
power.
today, you have
That's how much we can take from you. We have to go. We don't have a lot of time. Sorry, but we get your point clearly. He says cash cow they might have said it's cash cow in the past. I'm thinking he's referring to the FCT minister, but now it's working better according to him. Chima from Rumokuta. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Ifemi.
All right, quickly, please.
Mr. Ifemi, if we begin to read the narrative that NDDC has been patrolling the politicians in Rivers State,
No. Chima, we are not the ones pushing the narrative. It was said by various governors, including the former governor of Rivers State, very clearly. So we are not the ones pushing the narrative.
The former governor of Rivers State said it.
The immediate past governor of Rivers State, the FCT minister now.
Mr. Ifemi, let me quickly go to what is at hand already.
All right.
Ifemi, from the inception of NDDC, I never knew NDDC to have a representative. Honestly, when people negotiate that thing, even in your studio here, a project being commissioned by Tito Negotia raised an opera about changing the name or whatever. I think you know about the 7-kilometer road. And Mr. Tonegotia and Mr. Ifemi, have you taken a stroll down Rivers Front, like some rural area? I don't talk about the urban area. You will see light everywhere. As it happened before. So to me, we are really feeling the impact of NDC under the water of Tito Negotia. I know you don't have time now. We'll begin to organize them one after the other.
Thank you, Chima. Ida, quickly, good morning.
Yeah, in Koro Kingdom, in the local government part of Niger Delta, we don't have any NDDC project in the Koro, particularly in Koro Kingdom. And we have our son, who is representing us there, Blessing Fubara. They should give him one project to bring for people of Koro. That guy is a good guy. He will disappoint us. We are doing one program, Project Hope. If you bring back that program for the people of Niger Delta, please, we are begging. And bring one project from Koro Kingdom in the Koro local government.
All right, Ida, thank you very much. Mr. Fyneface, Dr. Fyneface. I'll need to get used to it. Are there any better ways you think the NDDC can be structured, or you think how it currently runs is perfect to tackle the developmental challenges that the region is facing?
Yeah, I think the NDDC is currently over-centralized. The average person cannot have access to the NDDC. You write a letter to the NDDC, you don't get responses. And you want to reach any of them, it's difficult to reach them. They know what we are talking about and how difficult it is. I know, even myself, I know how much I've struggled to be able to have a response from letters submitted to NDDC and they don't go through. So I think the NDDC should be restructured in such a way that they have community liaison officers in communities. Maybe they do it at ward level. You have someone appointed at the ward level that will take feedback from the people in each of the wards in the 9 states or in Niger Delta, collate them to the state office that purifies, simplifies, and analyzes the data gathered from that perspective. And then they present it to the states, the national office to look into. So some of these things can help to do that. And the NDDC officials should also make themselves available to the people because they are representing the people and they are not representing themselves or just the politicians that, supported them like those in Abuja. They should try and make access to the commission easier, especially people being able to get feedback from communication to them, corresponding to them. People should have feedback.
All right. Thank you. We're already out of time, but I had promised you I was going to include one honor to the Ogoni 9.
Yeah, generally the Ogonis have been reacting to this, and the reactions that are coming, apart from we that are on the periphery, the reactions from the families of those directly affected. Now, from the families of those who received the honor, like Ken Sarawiwa family, they have appreciated the award, but they are calling for exoneration of Ken Sarawiwa. Now, one of the Ogoni aides, the wife of Kyobe, Esther Kyobe, she also accepted the award, and she has even added it to her name, Esther Kyobe, OON. Then she's calling for exoneration. Then the family of the Ogoni 4 that led to all of these issues are saying that you cannot honor the people that are alleged to have killed their people without honoring or respecting
those that were killed in the first place.
So all of this put together, Mr. President have responded to say, now you are calling for restoration. Yeah, we'll look into it and see what works. So we are looking forward to Mr. President's response to address the issues by reviewing the entire process and then exonerating those who deserve to be exonerated.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Fyneface Dumnamene. That's it on the show this morning. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Well, we see what the NDDC does going forward. It's 25 years so far. What should we expect in the next 25 years when we have a conversation around this again? Hopefully in different circumstances. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Hello Port Harcourt is next with Jude. Good morning.